Morning, everyone. Just give it a couple of minutes as normal. San Bernardino, I like it. It was winter, yeah. Well, still got my shorts on. Still haven't got a jacket on, so maybe not quite. Yep. Well, 0.5% instead of 0.25%. So that's yeah. Okay, I've used it a few times. I'm a bit iffy on it. Again, like most indicators, they are lagging, to be fair. It's not a pros and cons of zigzag. The main con is you shouldn't be relying on it too much. Yeah, RAM would be better. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's higher than it's strength of RAM for that point of view. But from a more personal point of view, means if you owe money on your car or your house, it's not so good. Your savings, in theory, should be a bit better, but you can put up interest when you owe, but not so quick when you've been paid out. So hopefully, if you have any savings there, it'll actually have a slightly positive effect. But so the problem is on big things like bonds, which usually run to large figures, and that can make it that can push a person now even less disposable income. Which another point of view depresses the house price because the guys can't afford it and automatically brings the house price down. Actually, $210 possibility of actually, for those who can afford it, higher margin, higher costs. How long will it last? I'm not so sure that maybe it'll not right now. I think this going into the weekend, maybe just take it a bit easy on it. But I think, yeah, I don't see the troubles are over. It might come back a bit more, but knee-jerk reaction and a few buyers came in. So maybe if it holds there, maybe it might get a bit upside next week. But yeah. Okay. Right. Well, interest rates go up, but yeah, well, so be it. Hope most of you guys aren't impacted too badly on it. Yeah, what else can I say? That's the trouble. Corrupt guys screw up, and then the poor old earning guys, usually the middle class, the rich don't have to worry about it. The poor don't pay enough tax. It's the middle class that suffer. Got to pay for it. So yeah, well, looks around there. I'm just playing around. I'm not going to get any trade ideas out today. There's so much iffiness as we discussed. That's why we come with this new trading idea, strategy, whatever you like to call it. I didn't come up with anything particularly brilliant to be sent out to everybody. We're not talking about the strategy we talked about yesterday. I'm talking about the normal one. And I couldn't find, we've got hit quite bad in the last 2-3 weeks, where I think it's probably about 60-40 against, when it's usually about 65-35, 70-34. So with this kind of turmoil, I'm more concentrating on the shorter term strategy, as mentioned, which I've done a few, which we can discuss. But that brings me, as I say, discuss in the private trading room, and we won't be sending out trade ideas today. If you come up with something here in the trading room, that's a completely different story. This is almost like a separate situation here to everybody else, so we know why, where, and what. So you can do all sorts of more interesting things here. But that just so you know. Okay, I haven't got anything particularly brilliant up my sleeve to say, right, let's go into whatever. But you might come up, and it's happened before. Let's say probably, I give myself a due. I come up with some pretty good ideas and happen again, but a heck of a lot comes from the trading room. So if you do, we'll look at it. That's fine. If you did take the MSFT, the Microsoft one, maybe gone up $1 or whatever it is, but I'm not actually in a panic on that. I think that the NAS seems to be capped at the 13,000 area, which I did mention yesterday. And if we can start getting a pullback on that, I think you'll find Microsoft will come to the party. So if you're in that, fair enough. The EJ, yeah, the EJ principle. Oh, you remember it, yeah, the EJ principle. Well, yeah, I've done a few of them. We'll discuss it just now, but I just want to do my normal sort of little chit chat, summation, what's happening out there, and the indecision principle, the ID principle, the indecision principle. Not a heck of a lot, unless you found something fascinating, interesting. So that's about it. I just want to mention this coming week, next week, I mean Friday, non-farms, Good Friday, just a reminder, I'll update you again, a reminder. Tie a knot in your tie, or today's technology. You probably have a calendar on your WhatsApp, just put it in. Before 2, I'll be coming on at 1:45 for the 2:30 release. That's next Friday, the Good Friday. And the following Wednesday, we've got the CPI at 2, and we've got the micro indices at 1. So I've discussed it with the office, and I've suggested, and they agree with me, I'll do the 1 and then knock off from the indices, go straight on to the CPI 1. The idea behind that is some of the guys might be intrigued, which did maybe not known about it from the indices one. And so it might be able to sort of get the two going together, and to say, and maybe again get some extra people to try and say, come to the TR, and then hopefully, yeah, you'll get more practical understanding. Okay, we don't have them. So FXN, is that I don't know what that is. Is that Mexico? I don't know. So I don't have an opinion on it at all. What I do have an opinion on the dollar rand. That's also an exotic, and like all exotics. There's enough liquidity for you to trade it, but it doesn't have the liquidity of, let's say, the euro dollar or the cross of the majors, basically. As a result of it, market makers, brokers, etc., do require a higher deposit margin and normally a much higher spread to make up for that area. So you will be paying more for the trade. Doesn't matter if it comes to the party, as long as you're aware of it. The problem is, again, is unfortunately with this particular broker, we have such a large amount of people with it, which is such, I think to say, ridiculously low funds. Most of the kind of trade ideas like that might be attractive, but because of the lack of balance or because they're undercapitalized, they just can't, even if it looks good or not, they just can't do it because they just don't basically have the funds. That's why it's just one of those things. That's why you live in that area instead of buy that car instead of a Bentley or whatever. The point is, it precludes those guys with shortage of funds because they won't have the free margin. But I think I don't know about MXN. There's a Mexican. I have no idea what that is. But from the ZAR point of view, I think it might be possible to buy there, but it will never be sent out. Unfortunately, we've got too many clients who don't really understand this. But in the trading room, if you have the funds, I can mention that parameter. I think it's a good possibility we might get something if it holds, etc. And even if it doesn't, it gets a better price and holds. I would be looking at it. I think the dollar might have a bit of recovery, but that being as it may, rand weakness is still the name of the game. And I don't think unless you've been hiding under the ground or being a hermit somewhere, you don't have to discuss why that is. It's it's not good. I think we all know. We don't get depressed about it, but unfortunately, we all know the problem is. But here we have the leaders to change the culture to deal with it. It can easily be done. Talent's there, everything's there. Just don't want to change the culture. The gravy train, they say. Okay, fine. All right. Yeah. Before we go and look at the EJ principle, I like that. Yeah, I think I'll stick with it. Before we go further, the EJ, go into it. Any ideas? Any discussions? Anybody looked at anything since we last met? Anything you want to discuss and bring up? Anything you want to chat about or whatever? Remember, there's no afternoon show today. It's just this one here. Just bear that in mind.
Roger, may I ask something?
Absolutely, mate. Top of my list, young lady.
This message that was sent out this morning of the new Zoom classes for indices and commodities, exactly what is the meaning of that? Or does the classes start again? Is there a difference in the classes that we attended?
Damn good point. Right. The problem is, I'll be honest, we sit there, we listen to it, we understand it, we forget it's in our head, and then I pass it on to the quick trade for everyone else there, and I forgot that they'll think, what's this all about? I better not actually bring that up, so I'm actually rather pleased you did. Fantastic. Okay, right. The problem is a lot of these classes happened in the past, and I've been pushing this myself actually, is too much theoretical, browsed by analysis, blinding with details and science, which frightens people off, confuses them, especially when they're starting, and often you're missing the practical aspect. I'm sorry to use an analogy I do all the time. You want to get down for your daughter's wedding in Joburg to Durban. Let's be honest, do you really give a continental about the intricacies of the mechanics below the bonnet? Or aren't you more interested in the benefit of getting down there safely at speed and actually the car working and getting you there? So now you want to know.
That is true. That is completely true. I would just like to say also, I started reading more of the classes, the readings that we have to do. And I'm absolutely surprised that they still give classes for JSE. And sometimes what they say is not what we are experiencing at the moment. For instance, there was one person that said, if the markets in USA goes up, then everything in South Africa goes up as well. I mean, that is totally wrong at this stage. It's not. I wonder. I sit and I listen to those classes, and I wonder, why am I doing this?
Love it. I mentioned before, and you're clearly doing it. Two things you need: to be able to think and use a bit of common sense more than anything else. You've done both there, absolutely. I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, about 8, I went to what's called prep school in the UK. 8 to 11, that's the system then. And they taught ancient Greek. They just stopped it when I went in, but they're still teaching Latin. They phased it out. People get into a habit they don't like change, and just say, what do I need ancient Greek and Latin for? The same principle. They're stuck in some of the old principles, and they haven't updated it. It's like still selling cassette tapes when even now CDs are out of use, because everything's changed. So that was the idea behind it, to update it and get it more practical. And that's the whole point behind it. And I think you nailed it big time there. I'm reading through this and I paid it. I'm taking the time, and I'm sure you'd rather exciting novel to read or watch a TV program this. And you think, really, is this beneficial? Well, quite clearly not, because you're not wanting to be a stockbroker. So you don't need to know about some of those things because it's irrelevant to you. You need to know how to basically, practically get an understanding for get the car down to Durban for your daughter's wedding. That's the principle, what you want out of it. And that is the basis behind that. So trying to get these classes more practical, not blinding with science and detail, which most is forgotten and irrelevant anyway, and get the guy to understand. But someone's on leave, Ivy, fill in to do the platform training. And I spend the time not going in half the dozen details of the intricacies of the platform. All I want the person to know that when they get a signal, they know how to modify the stop loss, how to place the difference between a pending order and a market order, the different types of pending orders, how to add an instrument to the watch list, how to set the charts up, and how to cut the position. That's it. If they want to do anything extra, it's up to them. But that's the basics. So when you get a trade idea, say buy the dollar, euro dollar at so-and-so SLTP, they don't have to phone up and say, how do I place it? That's time consuming. They will then say, oh, there's a signal. Now I know what button to press. And that's the bottom line, basically. That's the idea behind it.
That is so true. Now, have they already updated the information, the classes? Have they already updated it?
I don't go into that because quite clearly I don't need to. So I'm told that. I don't even have access to it because it's not necessary for me. You know what I mean? But I am told they have. And I believe it's starting on Monday, according to what was sent out there. And I'm going to spend a bit of time discussing this because I think it's important. And so Monday, I think you sort of start afresh and hopefully, I mean, I don't attend them. I'm doing this stuff, other stuff to do. They will get more back on the practical stuff. And you need to know a little bit of theory, but once you got the basics of it, go on to the practical side. And I believe, so I'm told, because I suggested it, etc., they're pushing on and doing just that. It'd be interesting if you do attend a couple to give me feedback in the trading room to show the difference, because then I'll have knowledge of it and I'll be able to push it higher to the guys. Because with all due respect, Anna-Marie, you're very, very clever and you read 16 books on Bollinger Bands and all that sort of thing. But now again, you get this great trade, you don't know how to place it. Well, what's the point then? You know what I'm saying? And that's really what we're trying to get going on. Okay. Hope that's all clear because that's important. Right, AUD, USD. I took that on. All right, we're going back to the what we call the EJ principle. I better forget it because I quite like that. EJ principle. Write it down. So it becomes a habit, so I can remember it. I already went into it, so we'll do the AUD, USD. On that same subject, look at the daily, it's down there, right, below, and then I went to the hourly, and it opened up below, so I went in there. What did I go in at, by the way? I went in, well, I'll tell you what you went in, it tells you there, 67.09, don't forget it's on there. I went 67.09. So I put the stop in 50 pips above it, much stuff, think about removing that, I'll leave it to now. I think I've got a stop in there, up there somewhere, maybe we can move it down. What's it now? 60, keep it 50 pips, 67.25. So I can move it down to there. There we go. So just modify the stop. So now my risk, I gone in with a smaller one than normal, a lot smaller, but I'm just trying this out. So anyway, with half, 5, was it 5? I think I went, what did I go in? I think it was 0.5, quite a small one. Yeah, it says this, it's on there. I only went 5 micros. Clearly, from my account, it's quite small. I'm just trying it out. And if we get it nudged up the ante, as they say. Now I've got a risk of 14 pips. So as quite rightly, Pete says, no, who's on at the moment, said yesterday, we don't know a profit till we've taken it. We do know what my loss potential is. It's come down from 50 to 14 pips. So on what's that, $7? It's $1 a pip, so half is obviously $7 a pip. That's just over $100, which is quite frankly, even small accounts, not a lot of money. You get the point. So yeah, at the moment it's doing just nicely. Okay. The other one is not doing so nicely. I win the GBP CHF on the same principle. I'll go back to the daily, show you why. GBP CHF. Here we are. Okay. It was on the downside. Okay. Sorry, the upside. Maybe I was jumping the gun because the whole candle really wasn't on the upside. I think I might have been jumping the gun on this one. I really should have waited for a full candle above that to buy it, but I jumped it anyway, see what happens. But again, a small one, so it's not going to kill me. Then I went to the hour, and of course, because I'm buying, I wanted to be above that one. And at the moment, it's not looking good because that's straddling it. If that opens up at 10 o'clock, unless I'm chatting to, forget about it, below there, I'll just take the pain, okay? It'll be a lot less than 50 pips, but I'll take that. For the moment, I'm still sticking with it. Okay, now, oh yeah, thanks. Now, I'm not making this an excuse on that side, Etienne, guys. But I was wondering if I was a little bit quick on the trigger there, because really, it's not really in the buy zone. It's straddling it. That really should have been in the buy zone for me to attempt that. So I think I was jumping the gun a bit. But it wasn't that big. I'm still doing it. So if it comes right, that's great. But I was sort of half a loss, half a victory, because I was really sort of getting a bit more used to it, jumping the gun a bit. I think maybe I should have waited for maybe Monday to see if it's completely above that on the neutral zone to do the area. But anyway, I did it. So that's one of those things. Still in, because again, it's not totally close below it. It looks like it will do at 10, and I'll just take it out. But the AUD USD one, I'm thinking it's a little bit late to chase now. You get the point, because you should have been going in there. But then that happens. There'll be other opportunities, and that's what we can discuss now, if you can find them. The EUR USD, that was the real one. It was basically a fake one, to be honest, because we backdated 10 o'clock. I'm the same. And I'll give you the figures just now. It closed below there, as you can see. So I took it and I made 35 pips on it. The US dollar Swiss franc, I'm going to show you that one as well. That's out. Well, that wasn't real in this case, but never mind. The principle was still the same. That closed that was a sell, and it closed above it. So I took it. On that one's another 35 pips. NZD-CHF, I took, and that was a loss. And it's good to know you're going to get losses, but as long as the net's okay. That was a sell at 12 o'clock yesterday. And as you can see, it opened, it closed above, even though it's back in business today. I stuck to the rules. It was above, so I took it. And I made I made quite a big one on that. It was a 43 pip, unfortunately. So I lost 43 pips on that one. But it's still 50 pips the stock. So it's slightly below the stop. So in a way, a bit of lemon to lemonade on that one. But it's 43 minus. The GBP CAD was a real one. So was an NZD, unfortunately, a real one. But they're all real from the point of view of what we're learning from it. GBP CAD out of that as well. That was on, this is, I got out today, but took them yesterday. Was a buy. Where's it? Hour. And you can see it came down below here this morning. What time was this? Why am I out? 1 o'clock. Why am I out of that one? Why the hell am I out? Because I was asleep then. Anyway, out wrongly. It's a buy, right? Yeah. What the hell am I out of that one for? That's my bloody mistake. Idiot. Anyway, I'm out of that. I took 28 pips profit. Sorry, hesitation there. I'm just going to say why I'm out of it. Maybe because I just looked to sell the previous one, and maybe I thought it was a buy and forgot it was a buy, not a sell. That's another tip. Make sure NB. Maybe get two color, a green and a red pen, so you don't mix two up. One's a sell, one's a buy, and maybe I didn't check. I thought maybe I was used to a sell. Oh, it's above there, take it, and that's what happened. So I got out of that incorrectly. Unfortunately, at 67.48, so I've been another 20 pips up. So that was my mistake. Anyway, I made 28 on that one. So total is 17.98 profit, 43 loss. What's it? 98, 100 minus 45, which is what? 55 pips. Yeah, I've got it written down right in front of me. So 55 pips net from yesterday. So whatever money you had on it, that would be your round or dollar profit, 55 pips net. But looking back, that's a bit ridiculous. I should still be in that one, in which case, therefore, I would actually still be in it, and I'd be 45 pips up. So, okay, right, well, at least I learned from that. Make sure, I might even do that, get a red and a green pen or something. Make sure it's in your face which way around. I think I got out for the wrong reasons there. That shouldn't have been out. You get my point. That might have, but I was fast asleep at that time, so I wouldn't have done it. So, no, I didn't do it. Okay, AUD and GB, US dollar, Japanese yen. I took and I lost on that one. Not a great start to the day. I obeyed the rules, a bit doubtful, but I thought stick to the rule, discipline. It was a sell down here. Again, maybe you jumped the gun a bit, but that time I think it was in that sell. So I took it anyway as a sell, and I lost 34 on that one. Again, looking back, I'm wondering if it was correct. We really need the whole of the one below that. Yesterday might have been an idea to do it, but today I think I might have jumped the gun a bit. Never mind. But the AUD USD definitely was the correct one, because as you can see, it is in the sell area. And we go to the hourly one. I did get in and the sell area. So that was the correct one anyway. So bottom line is, I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game since yesterday. So we'll just see if we can find something more at the moment to make it even better. Okay. But I made a right cock up there, Derek. I don't know why that is. But I'm quite annoyed actually. I made a profit on it, but should have had a lot more. So this is going to happen when you start something. You're you get better at it with practice. But I'm ahead of the game, even though I'm a bloody bit of a fat finger there. Okay, so let's learn from that. Get a green and a red pen or something, or put a big plus sign and a big minus sign. So when you just been looking to sell and see the other ones above there, who bloody hell will go in the wrong direction? Forgetting this, it's going in the right. This one's a buy. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else has been doing that, playing around with it, but I definitely have, and so far so good. Again, don't get excited, guys. You're not going to put 10 grand in return tomorrow, and you're not going to have a 100% hit rate. But if you can do so far so good, you could start thinking, aha, maybe I can get a consistent profit, and that would make it far more fun. Now we're going to go and have a look at AUD CHF and see what the story is on that one. First thing we do, we go, see when that happens, you see what I mean? Happens now and again. No problem, right click, left click, templates, go to the save template, and we're back in business. Right, AUD CHF from the daily. Well, I'm not going to ask what is a buy zone and a sell zone, because that's utterly sodding obvious. I'm going to start with intelligence. So let's go to the, that should have been, might be an idea if I employ someone to keep an eye on all these, because I missed that. Quite right, this would have been a sell, but not right now. That was a sell, not here, but round about the open of this area here at 9 o'clock, 50 minutes ago. Should have sold there, but I missed it. You can see that. That's what's important. Stop up for, we know, stop 50 pips. And already at the moment, you'd have been up 16 pips. Remember, so now, not a daily, so it looks more than actually is, 16 pips. I missed it. Yeah, I tend to agree on that. We've had so much trial and tribulation, the NAS and the Dow. I've gone in again on the NAS, but I don't suggest to anybody after a few pop-ups you've had so far. But yeah, I tend to agree. Lawrence, I haven't got the stomach to say a guy's going again after the last couple of times, because people have taken a knock on it. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I agree. I haven't gone on the Dow, but I've gone to the NAS again at 13,000, or just below that confirmation. What's the NAS doing? A little bit in profits, okay. But yeah, I just haven't got the heart to say, do you want to have another bash it after a couple of times we've done it? But yeah, I do. Never mind moving averages or anything like that. I just personally think that thing's overcooked. And this is a lower high trend line. You can see it's down. I don't know. Let's put the trend line in. Some people use the body of the wick. That's what they always like, trend lines, which basically means it's broken above on that one. Doesn't tell you much, but more than the trend line, I'm thinking more. Let's look at a Fibonacci tool. Yeah, I hit the 50% retracement. Yeah, I think the trend line is giving, it's just not telling me much. Wrong one. Okay, so yeah, lower lows, high, and well, yeah, I agree. If you got the nerve to have another bash it, quite happy. If you're scared of it and you're sick of it or whatever, I'd understand very much so. But there you are. Just make sure if you're doing the micro, have a decent wide stop. I personally think above 36 now, maybe 33, 100, and you can take it down wherever you like. Heck, a lot of downs. You pick. There's plenty of downside. That's the least your worries if it comes off. Oh, yeah, Marie. Well, I'm already in it. I didn't get stopped out. I didn't get a 31, but I added to my position of 13. Yeah. What did we miss? We're just talking about the new strategy we talked about yesterday. Whatever. Half an hour. I can't really wind it up in a few minutes, but it might get repeated, so I wouldn't panic on that. You haven't got a new fat trade idea out. That's more of the point. So if we had, I'd go on to it straight away for you. Okay. Risk reward. Put it up there, so I'll make it 33, 100. I want to ride wide one. Where can we take it down to? I can take it down here. 32, 152. I think I don't mind you go low. You can always play around with it. 32, 150, call it. But if it starts coming off big time, just modify your stop, not your stop, your TP, and ride with it. We had 1,000, remember, in the good old days about a month ago, we had 1,000 pip, 1,000 pip. That's equivalent to nearly 20 Forex trades. That one before eventually took it. No, Dirk, you shouldn't have 30,000. There's 2 round figures attracted to it. That's why I did 13.1 for that reason. If you can do it, absolutely. That's what I have on there. If you want to do it, I'm for it. I just understand psychologically. I don't really go in and then go, oh my God, I've done this one again. If you're a bit sort of gun shy of it, I understand, but I think this will be okay. Yeah, I'll look at the NAS in a minute. But 13.1. If it's a round figure, always put it out of the way of the round figure, because if it gets to, you know, like 12.9, 12.920, it's going to be attracted psychologically, not always, but again, an air of probability to that round figure. So you don't want to stop there. And it did get to 13,000, hovered a bit, and well, a minute or two ago, it started to come off. Not exactly screaming off, at least it's coming off. Okay, have you got that? Can I move on? Right, I always come back to it if you want. I'll put it down for you guys, just as a reminder. Keep the journal of the EJ principle separate. Right, Dow Jones, Dow, sell, what is it? 32838. 33.1, 32.150. Sorry, Anna Marie, was that explanation a question about the new course structure? It was a bit sort of garbled, but did it make sense in what I was talking about there? Because looking back, I think it's a bit of a garbled answer, to be honest. But I hope you all got the picture that I haven't seen it yet, but it would be a lot better. This is one I think you'll make an effort to look at. Unless you've already been doing this for a couple of months, you probably already know. What's today again? 31st. Okay, the NAS. Good. I'd like, if you don't mind, being my guinea pig and then give me your feedback on it. And then if you're happy, and I'll just then push it a little bit harder for the guys from a QT group or whatever. Because it makes my life a lot easier as well. Guys got basics, because it's hard work trying to, you know, explain something that guys just don't know anything about it at all. So the more they got the background, more we can move on, if you know what I mean. Micro, yeah, we'll stick to 13.1. Beauty with this, sorry, 31. That'd be interesting to stop here. Beauty with this, it's going to be slightly cheaper on this one. I think I'm going to stick with 12,000. What the hell? Not worry about the TP. It's the risk side of it we've got to concentrate on. That's a hell of a lot. That's a bit stupid. Make it 12.5, but if it starts coming off, you might want to take a bit more. You'll be modifying anyway. In theory, occasionally you're TP'd out, but you should really be stopped out when you get better at it, because you just move the TP, cut your position, keep moving the stop till you eventually stopped out. But sometimes it's TP because you have other things to do and it hits it and then, well, you're out. But anyway, that's 22 bucks a micro. Ha, well, there you are. It's not exactly going to hurt you. And I think that's a fair, even though it's under 200, I think that's fair. That's normally is 200, but this I'm making an exception because 31, I think if it gets past 31, it's going to do as Etienne pointed out yesterday, it'll get to 32.50, the next area support. So let's just leave it there. If you want to do a wider stop and have a bigger risk per micro, you can put it maybe 13.3 above that. What am I talking about? Let's go to the weekly. Just minimize that a second. This guy here, it's about 13.250. If you put it, that's too far away, it would make it ridiculous. But maybe 13.250 if you want, means obviously you'll have to be more risk per micro, higher round per micro, or 13.1. That's your choice. You've got the position size calculator. You can just if you put that in, it's about 20 bucks. If you make that, let's say 13.3, just out the way of that resistance, it'll now increase it to 60 bucks a micro. So which you want to do, there you are. Can't do any harm, I would assume. I get feedback from those in the trading room on maybe Tuesday after you've been to them, because you'll be doing it, I think it's in the evening on Monday. So with those who attend, you give me a bit of feedback in the trading room on it. I've been pushing after us. Okay, so there you are. Do you want to go in again, anybody? Or we're going to give this a bit of a break? I'll put it down again anyway. If you want it, you want it. Just in case you do later on, got the figures handy. You're still in? Well, I'm still in. I just added to it right here wrongly. Okay. 12,976. Okay. 20 bucks. So this is the other one. 13.1. There you are, or 13.1. You check your chances. I don't know which one you prefer. That's good as any. If it goes back up there, we've got a problem anyway. So only 20 bucks then, a micro. Okay, fair enough. Still, obviously, then you're still in, fair enough. Okay, right, let's have a look at a few ideas on the daily, see if we can find a couple, going back to the other strategy, the EJ strategy, hey, Etienne? You're going to live on this, going down as a legend. CAD, let's just start with the AUD. AUD CAD, neutral, leave it. Do it quick, just bear with me, do it quickly. Sell, no problem, 1 hour, ship sailed. Okay, go back to the daily. AUD JPY, sell, ship sailed. Hang on, has it still above there? Maybe not. Maybe not. There's 50 pips here. Yeah, you can still squeeze there. If you want to do that one, you can. It's opened up below. This is still a bit above it. Only problem is you nicely got in there, to be honest. But anyway, you didn't. But anyone want to try that one with a 50 pip stop and no TP, remember, and take it down? Anyone want to do this one? Even if it's only 0.01, that's $5 risk. It's not going to hurt you. Thank you very much, Etienne. Thank you. And for once, I totally agree with you. Hey? Good, let's give it a go then. Well, I'll do the same. AUD JPY, sell, I'll do the same, AUD JPY. So 0.05, I'll stick to the smaller one, get the hang of it. 0.05, stop loss 50 above that, what's that? 89, that's what, 89.30, right? 89.3. That's correct, 50 pips, yeah, that'll do. Fair enough. There we are. Okay, so 88.80. Put down on the separate one here. Can keep a separate journal on a proper track record. AUD JPY, sell 88.80. Okay, I'm not going to bother put the stop because I know what it is. I put the time in, okay, and that's what time is it? 10:07. And that's that one. Okay, so there you are. Okay, see how that goes. You all got that. Don't have to worry about TPs. 50 pips, add the 50 on that, 89.30. And just make sure, if you try and get out, just go for a smaller. If you can afford 2 or 3, stick to 0.01. You'll be more confident. You might get a lot more trades. So you want to keep that handy anyway. And we'll see how we'll get together next week. And maybe by the end of the week, we'll compare notes. I have mine anyway. I'll keep my journal on it and just see what happens. So as we're trying it out, don't need a risk reward. You go in short. Well, I'll tell you right now what it is. 0.01 is about $90, 90 rand risk. So your stop loss is 50 pips above that. Go in entry, and it's 9. I'll tell you off the top of my head, it's 90 rand per micro. I suggest, I don't know how much money you got. If you can afford more, I suggest, Coney, don't just stick to the 0.01. I can, quite frankly, I can afford more than that, but I'm only going to a smaller one by comparison what I've got. Just get the feedback. We're not actually after making lots of money on this one. It sounds stupid that, but I mean this. We're after making lots of pips. Once we can see, let's say next week and the week after, we're averaging so many pips consistently, then you can up the ante. You know what I mean? If you're making 100 pips a week consistently, you don't need to make 1,000 pips a week. 100 pips is fine. But instead of putting $1 on it, you put $2 or $3 or $4. You get my point. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the problem. People try to say, I'm going to make 500 pips a day. No, don't need to. If you make 100 pips a day consistently, be the operative word, you just up the ante. And so Etienne's made 100 pips and he had $1 on it, and Coney had 100 pips, he had $10 on it. Well, you get the point. You made 1,000 and Etienne only made 100. Still made the same amount of pips. That's the general idea I'm coming from. Yeah, I've got a problem with that. We're not on the DXY at the moment. If you go into the dollar, I take your point. But that jumps. Go for it.
After I've been attending the trading room, when I go back to the LMS and check the recorded classes, it gets easy for me to catch up. Then
Okay.
when I started from the LMS, because when I started from the LMS, it was kind of hard to grasp. But then as time goes by, the trading room made it easy for me to catch up on the LMS and understand much quickly.
Yeah, that's the point, because you got the overall picture why, so that falls into place. Before, you're learning almost parrot fashion. You know what I'm saying? Because you couldn't associate anything in your mind. When you see the practicality of the association of it, you'll find the information soaked up is a lot easier because it's not parrot fashion. Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks for the
it's like a puzzle now. Everything just works together.
Exactly.
Thanks for the
the reason why. Absolutely. That's why I mentioned, for instance, like what's the purpose of all this derivatives on, it's a hedging purpose for insurance companies and pension companies to protect their funds. And once you know the whole reason why, it's easy to fall into place. And that's the point, rather than just doing it parrot fashion. Would it? Would it indeed? AUD NZD, we'll come to that in a minute, actually. So JPY, you all got that now. AUD NZD, go back to daily. This clearly is a short. Go to the 1 hour. Have we missed it? No, we haven't really missed it because it's still above there. But no, it's not really missed. How far? 50 pips from here. Haven't really missed it, actually. It's right, where's 50 pips? Right out the way. It's right out the way, actually. So it's not a bad idea anyway. So yeah, I think that's on that principle you can look at it again. That's why I say go in small because you want to keep your free margin handy. It's no good going in bigger and you have 5 opportunities. Now you haven't got enough money to take all 5. Because if you know, it's that diversification. People look at me, brother, what's that mean? It means, what do you mean? Diversifying. Okay. So if one fails, the other one might come in. And it falls more into place here, Antonio. Thank you. Right. Yeah, I think that can be done as well. Just no more, no less. It's in the sell zone. On the hourly, it's held below there. That would be an ideal up there. That's always in hindsight, isn't it? And yeah, it's sticking to that. It's broken through here on the hourly. I'm going to do it. Hell with you lot, I'm going to do it. So there. AUD, NZD, sell. Was it 106.75? Uh, 1.0725. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Okay. 100 pips a day will be a phenomenal average. If I can do anywhere between 25 and 50 pips a day net, don't call me, I'll call you. Even though I can afford to drinking champagne on my yacht in the Bahamas, you get my point. Yeah, 25 to 50 would be great, but don't worry about it. Ooh, I want to do that's what I'm just saying. I want to do 100, not 29.50. It doesn't matter. It's easy to attain the goal of 25 to 50, more likely. But the beauty is you won't have $1 on it anymore. You'll have $2 or $3 or $4. You get the idea. You don't aim to put more on the pip once you get consistency than trying to get more pips and stressing yourself because you only got 80 and you want to do 100 a day. You get the idea. So say about 25 to 50, or better still, say maybe 150 to 250 a week. And then if you do bet, it's fine. If you start trying to put your goals too high, distress you're not making it, you start doing silly things. You get the idea. Don't say put the bar too low either, come to that, obviously. But I personally think rather try and see if you can get 25 to 50. I did 55 yesterday. So if I do 45 today, I still do my 50 if you get the idea. But again, if I do less than that, I'll go back and to get my head right and say, I did say to myself and you guys, Roger, 25 to 50. So I'm still above that. If it drops below 25, don't panic because the next day you might make it back up again. But don't start pushing trades because you're aiming at 50 or 40 or whatever it is per day and you got 35. And so you get another 5 or try that. And you put 10, 20 pips back, you're going to be annoyed with yourself. Okay, so work on 25 to 50, but at the end of the week, say between 150 and 250. And then the second week, between 150 and after 4 weeks, look back and where you're in 150 to 250 each week. You look at it on Saturday when the market's closed, Monday to Friday open, and you can say, yeah, consistently I'm within that. Now I'm confident. I'm not going to put a micro and I'll put 2. The next month I might up it to 4. Plus, in theory, you should have more funds anyway. And then you get the idea. You're still doing 100. What's it? 150 to 250 a week. Is that week? Yeah, a week. But now you've got a mini on it instead of a micro, and there you build up from there. Well, it's massively fine. If you do 15 pips a day and you got let's say $10 on it, that's $150 a day. That's nearly $3 a day. You'd be happy with that, wouldn't you? What's $3 a day? It's 60,000 rand a month. You'd be happy with that. But that's not a massive volume. They're doing massive volume. Not one. They're talking seriously big. I've seen them do it. Some of these guys, 100 plus on standard lots. You get it. And that's the point. Try and say roundabout plus minus and tot it up at the end of the week. So you did 10 today. Don't go into complete depression and don't get ahead of yourself. You did 100 that day. Just look at the end of the week and consistency. Because that's what worries me. A lot of people, they start pushing it because I want to make that goal. And then in the end, you stress out, you push it, look for a trade that doesn't exist, get ahead of yourself. And then instead of making 100 that you could have made 95, in the end, you only made 60. Get the idea. Get a bit garbled, I'm sure you understand. Okay, what time do we go on that one? 10:50. Make sure enough free margin you haven't, you can't go for it. Always remember that. Already AUD USD, we'll check it out anyway. Not doing too badly. Can I move the stop a bit further down? Where's the stop? Where's it? 53 on that is 67.23, isn't it? Yeah. That's about where it is at the moment, isn't it? I'll leave it there for the moment. Okay. CAD, CHF. That clearly is in the neutral zone. Leave it. Where's me? Just take the slots. Get this out of the way. Yeah. Confusing me. Try and get it simplified on this. Otherwise, like I cocked up the GBP CAD, made a profit, but I popped it up because I, just don't rush it. I guess, right? CAD JPY. CAD JPY neutral, leave it alone. CHF JPY, clearly a buy, clearly a buy, clearly a buy. Check, check, check. Yes, yes, yes. Then go to the 1 hour. Not yet. Got to wait for that. There you are. Make a note of that. CHF JPY. Make a note of that one. See what happens at opening at 11 o'clock. And this will be a buy, won't it? Yeah. Okay, watch this one. Okay. Yep. Okay, just keep an eye on that. If that opens above it at 11 o'clock, we can do it. Just a reminder there. Just before we go, somebody remind me. We'll have a quick check at 11 o'clock. EURAUD. Go back to daily. Clearly a buy, obviously. And then the 1 hourly. Missed it. It's too far. Leave it. Get the idea? It should be quick after a while. Go daily. Quick click there. In your face buy. No problem there. I've spent hours and hours looking at it. Neutral. No problem. Move on. Get the idea. It'll come practice in some couple of days. CAD, CHF. Daily. Buy. Hourly. Nope. Below there. Need to wait till it gets above there. Leave it. Go back to daily. If I'm boring you, tell me. I'm just showing you how to do it quickly. Neutral. Leave it. JPY. Buy. Hourly. Nope. And you see what I'm doing? and ZD. Buy, obviously. 1 hour. Yes, open above there. Ideally, we should have been in there. We missed it at this is at 9 o'clock. Oh, I'm chasing it a bit there. Ideally, we should have been in. So I think I'll make a note and try and get a better price on that one. It's looking good, but we should have got in NZD. Buy as a reminder. But to see we get a better price, we're going to miss it. Don't want to chase it there. That was the idea, was to buy it about an hour ago, so we missed that. But for the moment, we might get it. We get better. Maybe start to, if we haven't got a trade idea, start the morning off and come in here, bang it way through, so don't miss things like that. With you guys, I mean, if you're happy with that, I'm just throwing these ideas out to improve the situation. Don't want to give up everything that we started, but we have a bit of a bad run. You know, you start looking into other ideas. Euro NZD. Okay. Just we'll check Euro NZD by 1 hour. Just let me do this first. Yeah, we can do that, but a better price. We should have got in there. We can look at that one. Sorry, idiot. I thought it looked familiar. Okay, exit point. Right. The exit point simply if it goes above it. So, which is what happened. Let's go back to AUD USD. All right, AUD USD. This is a real one, so you can see it if working. Clearly got in there. It's important to see it's not all fake. We lie to ourselves as well, unfortunately. Right. If it keeps on going down, I just modify the stop, modify the stop, modify the stop. In theory, the exit points are either going to be stopped out or it moves above there. So if the whole hour candle is above this guy here, you take it. So you got in here, it reversed and closed above there, you get out. It might be 20 pips down, not 50. Does that make sense? So you just got in here, argument saying, you got in here, clear that's the entrance, comes off a bit, then shoots up, and then moves above that. And now it's 11 o'clock and the entire candle is now above it. You take it. Right. In this case, let's say the candle's above here, you'd exit. You've lost 14, what's that? Well, not very much actually. You might have lost about 10 pips, I don't know. But that would, so whatever comes first, our candle above the magenta line, or you're stopped out. And hopefully the stop loss will be somewhere down there. So you just modify your stop. Continue. Okay. In fact, once you get to decent profit, it might be an idea to modify your stop down to 20 pips. I think we'll do that. I think it'd be a good idea. 93. Just try that out. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to the original. Make it 66.93. Make it there, it's 20 pips, so good enough. Yeah, leave it there. So I will be out before it attains the sky again. Does that make sense, Carol, and everybody? So that now becomes irrelevant. If it hits that, I'm out. All right, I don't make that much, but I make something. But we'll see. Maybe I put it too close. This is experimental time. Maybe leave it up there. So the idea is either you're stopped out or the entire candle comes above here. So one of the beauties is you go back and check the ones you're in. If already turned around above it, you get out. Instead of losing 50, you might lose 20 pips. But that's trying to get the cake and eat it scenario. You got it. Because I'm thinking off the top of my head as well as we go along. Okay, we'll jump to GBP JPY. I'm just wondering if I pull that stop too close. I'll leave it. I'll come back to it. Anyway, never mind. Okay, 164.70. Also, what I'm talking about now. Think about the other one. Sorry. Buy zone clearly, obviously. 1 hour. No. See why not? Anyone see why we're not going to go for? Everyone understand why we're not going to go for that one? You can, it's I'm talking about for the system. You don't go for that one because it's a buy, and this is not cleared the 10-day moving average. All got that, so we leave that one. Okay, we'll go back to the euro again. We go down, so you get the practice of it. Euro USD, we've already done one. Can we do it again? No, I think it's a buy. Yes, clearly a buy. Drop below that. Take the profit. That's not a problem because it went below that, so I took the profit. Thank you very much. Now we can't go for it because it's below this guy here, so we can move on. GBP AUD. Go back to the daily. Well, that's obvious what that is. Ooh, bloody hell. No, that ship's clearly sold. Okay. GBP CAD. Might have another go at that. That's a daily. Obviously a buy. I know that anyway. While I check. Okay. No, it's come back below. Might have another go if it goes above it. So we'll leave that one. GBP CHF. Still in that one. I'm still in that one. Oh yeah. Okay. GBP CHF again daily. I think it jumps a bit quick there. You should, in theory, be above that, sort of not quite the full buy zone. So it jumps in a bit there. So it's not looking so pretty, but not terrible. GBP JPY. Go on. Hello? Okay. GBP JPY daily buy zone 1 hour. Nope. You see that? If you're not sure, tell me. GBP NZD. Buy zone, 1 hour. Yeah, I like it. But the problem is, I think the ship sailed a bit there. You wouldn't get it on here. You get in on this guy here. If it comes back a bit round here, you can get in, but don't want to chase it now because that candle's closed. So we'll keep an eye on that one to write down and check it later on. You can check it after the system if you like, after the session, I mean. GBP NZD. And that's a buy, right? Yeah. NZD buy. Okay, where were we? Okay. GBP USD should be a buy. Yep. This one here, clearly not, it's coming off. Dollar strengthening, that's right. So leave that alone. Neutral, leave it alone. NZD-CHF, a sell, got screwed on that one yesterday. Sell it. Yeah, still looking like a good sell, that one. Why did I get screwed on that one? Maybe I took it too quickly. Is it a sell or a buy? It's definitely a sell. I think it might be worth doing it again because below that, I think it's a sell. I think it's a sell. I haven't tried any commodities, Gerard. There you are. You've got some homework for the weekend. No, you can't. The market's closed. Damn. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet. It's got enough in our hands now without trying on that as well. But if you can find a commodity works, no problem. We'll include it in the portfolio. I like it as a sell. What do you think, guys?
Since the markets are closing, so will the Dow and the Nas reverse by Monday? Or depending on the markets?
If I knew that, I would be from another planet, my friend. I have no idea what's going on Monday. No idea.
Okay.
I can tell you what I think. I think it's going to come off. That's what I think, but I don't know. I thought the Nasdaq would come off at 12.7, didn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I think and what actually happens, not with one in the same place. Anyway, being as it may, anyone want to do this one? It's cleared the sell zone on the daily, and it's below the 10-day moving average. Do you want to try that one or leave it? Just go with a small one if you can afford it. Go on a free margin. No answer.
I'll take it, sir.
You're going to take it. Well, I'll take it. Yeah. DCHF. What's the stop loss? 57.70, right? Yeah. 0.5770. That's it. Okay, I'll just write that down. What's his name? NZD CHF. Just a reminder. Have it on a paper. It says on there. Just keep a journal of it. We're getting at 57.20. Okay, and the time was it 10:30? There we are. Right, going on to the next one, NZD-JPY. Buy zone, oh, that's a daily, sorry. Make sure you've got the daily. Neutrals, not below that, leave it.
I'm going to show the size.
Say again?
I'm going to show the position size on the NZD-USD.
You said something about position, didn't hear you. What did you say?
Yeah, are you going to put in the position size for me? So for the NZD.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. What position? We don't. This is a neutral. You're talking about the previous NZD-CHF.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
the previous.
You don't need it. You don't need it. You put 50 pips is $5. That's about 90 rand. So work on 90 rand micro. Or all 50 pips. You don't need it. All you need is the entry. Put your stop loss. Add 50 to this one. You bought the 4. Add 50 to the fourth decimal place. That says 57.20. Make it 57.70. And then one mic will be $90 for it. You don't need a calculator. Happy?
Okay.
A lot easier that way. NZD-JPY, I think we looked at that, didn't we? Daily, no, we can't. It's still hovering around that, so leave it. NZD-USD, nope, we can't do it because it's neutral. US dollar CAD, nope, no good. See, it's needed in the zone above, so we'll leave that one because I already made a mistake of jumping the gun on one and didn't me any favors. Dollar Swiss franc, already made profit on that one. Is there a chance of another one on the sell? Let's have a look. Nope, it's in the buy zone on this one. Leave it. US dollar JPY. Definitely a buy. Sorry, daily, sorry, big bump. Nope, neither. Leave it. Okay, so we've got potentially, hoping at 11 o'clock we can check it out, of 3. Swiss franc, JPY, Euro NZD, and the pound NZD. And we got one in there, so we've got a few running. So there we are. Um, okay, so there we are. Interesting stuff, eh? Adding a bit of a flavour, a bit of excitement. I'll tell you guys, the guys who are starting to do it full time, this will work nicely because it'll keep you mentally occupied. The biggest problem when you're doing on your own full time is you get bored, you do silly things. This will keep you mentally occupied. And be nicer once you get a trade idea on this system, not the other one, for the NAS and the DAO. And that will certainly keep you on your toes, keep you mentally stimulated. We can't at the moment, as we already know. Look at it anyway on that graph. It might be a long, that'll shut us up, wouldn't it? Let's have a look. Clearly it's a buy, no, that's obvious. Hourly, no. There you are, it's come off below. So you couldn't anyway. So thank goodness. It's been a bit contradictory for selling on one and buying on the other. Probably the same with the Dow. Just check it out. I think I have to check, it's obviously upside. Again, that won't work. Okay. What's the NAS doing? Looks like it's coming off a bit. Slow, but at least it's coming off, eh? Slow, but it's coming off. Try commodities, but I think gold's doing solid at the moment, probably in the buy zone. Where's the 200 ounce? Oh, there it is. Okay, well, clear it's in the buy zone. Well, I can tell you that without looking. 1 hour. Well, you couldn't. Yeah, I suppose you could do. I suppose maybe it's the same principle, isn't it? The best to be on the NAS and the Dow. You gets movement. Just a second. Morning, Willem. Roger here. Sorry, but I'm hosting the trading room till 11 o'clock. Can you give me a quick shout after 11 and I'll help you as much as I can. Okay. Thanks, Phil. Cheers, mate. Bye. I have to be honest, that was Liz Hurley. I had to put you guys on mute and to take the call. Okay, good enough. Okay. And leave platinum alone. I've mentioned before, I want to restate that. The reason is because the margin's too high. You don't want to chow your currency up. That's far too high a margin. Okay, so leave platinum alone. Remember, this one you can't trade. How do I know that? You go to properties and you go down here, close only. So if you're in, you can obviously get out, but leave you stuck in a trade without being able to get out. That'll obviously always be the case. But so you can't enter, so leave it. Why would you do that when you've got a perfectly good NASDAQ to do anyway? That's affordable. Okay, guys, right. Do them German if you like. Remember, it's not a micro, so the position size will be slightly different. We're talking with 100 pips stop, maybe 75, because it's not quite as volatile on this one. So it's going to be slightly different. Let's just look at the daily. Where the trouble with this one on the we're doing, you don't want to be selling it anyway. It's the buy zone at the moment, so leave it. But same principle. But I want to show you something here. To sell on there and the buy on the other, so leave it. If you do the position size calculator on here, I'll show you what I mean. Doesn't matter, you can buy along. We'll buy in this case for now. So the stop loss would be 154.94. We'll put T, didn't really matter actually, make it 157. That's not too bad. No, sorry, it's on that 75, beg your pardon. I think it's 100 on the NAS and 75 on the indices, it's slightly more volatile. So that'd be 75 on that was 215, one way around, sorry. Where we do 75, that's called at 50, 25, 15475. 15475. So you're talking about 150 rand per micro if you're doing the FTSE or the German 30. Okay. So rather stick to the NAS. Okay. Oh, you want to do it now for a sell? That's what you mean. Beg your pardon. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Beg your pardon. Well, if you can do, but it's going to be more expensive than the Dow or the NAS. And so you have to have, let's say, a tighter stop loss. 1 in 4, it'd be a sell on this one if you want to do it, not a buy, clearly. You have to put the stop up here. And the TP, don't think that's going to work though. No, you're going to have to take the TP down to here. Yeah, have to take the TP down there. And to get the stop out of the way, you're looking for $350. For that, you need $5,000 in your account and plus free margin, even if you've got $5,000 balance to be able to do it. So rather than doing 0.01 on that, rather do the NAS or something like that. You get the point? Because remember, this is contract size 10. Always remember that. Remember the maths on it. Contract size 10. The NAS and the Dow on the micro is contract size 1. Just remember that. So I can't see really the point in doing that one, unless you, like the German 30, you specialize in it and you've got enough time to do it. Okay, so leave it. Good. Well, you got the reason why. That's the whole idea, say, when Dili was saying, you can approach the study a lot more easy because you understand now more the reasoning behind it. Before it's parrot fashion, then it becomes more difficult. It's all about memory then. Okay, good stuff. So it might work carrot and gold by the look of it, but we can't do one now, or we can, but I suggest you don't. Okay, right. Any questions, guys? Anyone to check up on, revisit, look at, anything like that? But while you think about the answer, just remember, going into the weekend, a lot of the bigger boys don't open large amounts of positions unless something coming up crops up. But so it might be a bit slower. And don't forget personal consumption expenditure, PCE, which is reasonably important. It is an indication towards inflation. So that's coming out at 2:30 in the US. Okay, just bear that in mind. Okay, so keep a little memory on that one. 2:30, that's coming out. Check your economic calendar. I think you've all got it now. Anybody out there haven't got an economic calendar, I'll copy and paste it for them, or the dollar index. And if you haven't got my number and you've got over $500, sorry, 500 Rand or $50 in your account, haven't got my number, just post it. I haven't got it, mate, and I'll put it on the chat line for you. Okay. While you're doing that or not doing it, I'll answer Mr. Derek, AUDJPY. Right. Well, I took a sell on this one 10 o'clock this morning, with you guys. And what do you want to do with it? Do you want to buy it? What do you want to do with it? Or just checking it? Okay, on that basis, thanks for input, Etienne. On that basis, if you find it's work for yourself, just WhatsApp me occasionally the feedback or something like that. And other guys do that as well. Because the quicker other guys can contribute, the quicker we can tinker it. And hopefully by, let's say, this time in May, let's say by May Day, first today, May Day, we'll have a hopefully down to fine art and just hope and pray it's going to work. Because then, hallelujah, we found at last the solution, the meaning of life. Okay, thanks. Good. Anyway, come back to Derek here. I've checked it. So what are you basically saying on that one? Is it doing well or is it bad? Not doing very well, is it? 88, 89, 12. Not doing very well at the moment, is it? But, well, there it is. Structure the same. We can check on the hour. You might be able to close it. It's above. There's a sell, so it's still below. Hang on. Where did I get in? I got in here. That's right. Below there. Let's jump back up again. I get it. Okay. Yeah. If you like the system and it's below there, you might want to take it. I don't know. You might want to wait till 11 o'clock, see in case it breaks back up again. That's up to you. It's not looking pretty at the moment, but it might hold there. We'll see. So, yeah, I'm glad you draw my attention. It's a good point there. So, yeah, I've already entered it. As you see, it's bounced up, but I'm holding on clearly. Got the stop to protect. But if it goes into 11 o'clock and it opens up below that, you get a better price to chase it. Okay. So wait till 11. You get the idea. I'm thinking aloud, so you get the idea what I'm thinking and how to work in it. Because I'm thinking my feet a little bit as well. Okay. AUD-NZD, we just did that one. We'll do a quick check of that one. Does anyone else do it? 75, about breaking even, so it's okay. NZD-CHF, we just got it. Has it covered the spread yet? Got to give it a chance, remember. NZD-CHF, does take a bit of discipline to stick with it sometimes. NZD-CHF, up a little bit, but it's not a panic as yet. So we'll see how they work out. Okay. But so far, as I say, the AUD-USD has still come to the pie. What's the dollar doing anyway? It's going up, so that might be good for AUD-USD, hopefully. Popped up a little bit, but still okay profit-wise. That's good. News may, however, invalidate its indicator. That's a very good point, yeah. Bear that in mind. PCE coming out later on, might think it happens, we know. Right, so there it is. Here we go from here. Is it down the Nasdaq coming off? Popping up again, how do you think? And the NAS seems to be coming to the party, eh? Good. Me. Any question, guys? No. More I can add, actually. See what happens at 11, but going back to that one I just mentioned there, AUD-NZD, was that the one? Was it? I can't remember which one it was now. AUD-NZD, NZD-CHF, I think it was this one here. NZD-CHF. Yeah, keep an eye on that one. If that can close just now at 11 o'clock below that, start coming off, you can take it. For the moment, I don't. Okay. Maybe a bit hesitant. Well, he's in hindsight, maybe we should have waited for the jump. Anyway, whatever. Didn't, so there it is. Okay. It's monitoring the trades, that's good. So I want to discuss some important something written down particularly. Okay. Right. Anybody anything to add? Anyone to take a look at? Anyone to clarify? Go over? To me. You all got my WhatsApp number, I take it? And you all got the economic calendar? If you haven't, I'll quickly post it for you on the chat line, DXY. All got that. Okay, right. Just something to keep an eye on for, I'll just write this down, keep an eye on for opening 11 o'clock. Just a bit of a watch list on that subject. I'll just post them for you now.
Okay, Roger, sorry, did the stop loss on AUD JPY.
NZD. Right. Put that one in. AUD JPY. I did it. Thank you very much. It's interesting. Obviously, I went into, okay, I know why. maybe I chased it down too low because the stop loss in theory should have been above the magenta line. That's where the stop loss should have been. So learned something there. I shouldn't be out on that one. So I might go in again on that. I shouldn't have been out. You want a stop loss above that. It's definitely a sell, isn't it? Yep, definitely a sell. I should have, that was the theory. I should have actually put the stop loss above here. Thanks for a reminder on that one. But that's tough. I hope you didn't go too big if you did it. But I'm going to go in again. Where's the 50 on that? 71 out of the way, isn't up here? More practical level. Tweaking it a bit, that's fine. It's up there. So I'm going to do that one again. Right, so yeah. Okay, so what did lose? That would have been 50 pips. We hit the stop, eh? Minus 50. Okay, so that's not a good start of the day, is it? But I think the stop loss in the wrong position. Yeah, if you're chasing it down there, 50 pips within that line was a good idea. Got to have the stop loss above it. So it's a tweaking area. It's hopefully not costing you much money. It's cost me a bit. It's not your problem. But I'll just revise that in future. Don't go for the trade if your 50 pip stop was in the 10 moving average range, as you can see here. So that's learned that way. I'll put that down again in case we'll keep a proper note of it. Just a second. Thanks, Finally, for a reminder. Good stuff. Okay, what is it now? It's the 31st.
Sorry, can you help me? I would like to know, how do you display the stop loss as a line on your graph?
No problems, easy enough. Show you now. Selves, write this down. What price get in at? 89.22, is it? 89.22, 89.23, call it. 2023. And I got in at what time? At 10:50. Okay, quite simple. Right, give me a second. Tumor in. You right click here and you go down there and you can see trade levels and trade history. That's the trade history. Don't worry about that. You want it. Trade levels. Get it? Gone. Put it back in again. Trade levels. Simple as that. It's definitely within my IT expertise knowledge.
Thank you.
Okay. Fantastic, yeah. I'm spreading a little bit to get it. I don't want to take the odd loss. It's you know, school fees to tweak it right. So there, I learned something there. Thank you, drawing attention to it, Fanny. Yeah, if you have the stop, if let's say you're entering here and the stop loss is here, that's not going to work. You've got to have it above here. And if that's more than 50 pips away, here's another little ruling: don't take it. The ship has sailed. So your 50 pips stop loss is within that 10 moving range, either going long or going north or south, doesn't really matter. It mustn't be within that range. If it isn't, you've missed the ship. The ship sails, sorry. So you have to wait until you get the stop loss above there, or miss the boat. So learn something there. Okay, see what he's posted there? I'll quickly click on it as well and check it afterwards. You can do that, see the value of it. It might well be that. I'll check it out after the situation we're in now, which is the trading room session. Okay, right. Yeah. Okay, fine. So just that there, got that written down there. Keep those eyes out there. That's fine. Right. Anything else? Now we've got that mentioned. Is the Dow coming off? What is you thinking about that? Not much, but anyway. A little bit up. NAS about the same, very quiet. Might be a bit quiet going through today, but certainly we'll see what happens. Okay. Euro dollar, let's have a look for you. DXY is going up, so I'm expecting some downside on the overall. I know it's got the buy zone on this thing here, but I'm a little bit cautious on it because the dollar is strengthening a bit. So it could get a bit of downside on the euro dollar at this stage of the game. Yeah, so on the hourly strategy, we call it, the EJ one, yeah, I would, we can't anyway, but I'm actually think it's going to come off a bit. There you are. I think we're getting a bit of a bounce going to the weekend, going off a bit. Now, the next question is, do you see a trade there for a short? Well, the problem with that is you're going against the momentum. And we came proper on the NASDAQ because we thought it was that high, it must come off for those reasons, and it didn't continue upwards. So I'm a little bit nervous, even though I think it'll come off, to look at a trade, because if you do, you've got to stop out the way here, which is too far. So you've got to put it about here. I suppose you could squeeze it there, but the momentum is not confirmed down. I think maybe just stand aside on that one. What do you think, guys? Because it's still in the buy zone, even though I think it's a bit overcooked. I think better confirmation for more sellers coming in. That's what I think. So I think maybe just be a little bit careful on that. Make sense? So I think it's going to come off. That's my feeling on it, but I think I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. Learned a little bit this week on the momentum. I think it's quite important. Momentum is still on the buy zone. Even though I think it's a bit overvalued and dollar's going up a bit, a little bit nervous. Remember the euro as well. It's not that weak. It's pretty strong at the moment. That's what I think. In a nutshell, momentum's still the upside, but it's overcooked. In a nutshell, yeah. So Sephora, I would be a little bit hesitant on going in either way on the moment. Okay. And I don't know, I think it'll pull back, but I don't know the extent of a pullback. And you might only get down here before it jumps. And the problem with that is, of course, then you haven't got a decent risk reward. Yeah. The safe way probably either buy, at the way it stands at the moment, buy the pullback, buy the retracement, yeah. That would be the better one, yeah.
The CPI is coming out at 9 o'clock, hey? I mean 11 o'clock.
CPI on what? Just checking here quickly.
Euro.
Yeah, 11 o'clock euro. Yeah, see it now on the other screen. Have the chat line in the way of it. Okay, yeah, I can see that. 11 o'clock CPI core, year on year, and the normal CPI. Remember what's the difference? The core CPI is the consumer price index excluding food stuff and energy. I call it F&F, food and fuel. So, you know. So I'll see what happens in a few minutes' time, yeah. Look at the FTSE. No. Okay, Dirk, no problem. We'll tweak it a bit, get this thing sorted out, hopefully, yeah, by the end of the month, next month, that is. Brent's coming off a bit, Mandel's not here, coming off a little bit. Most of you guys are out of this one now anyway. Okay, not much I can add to it at the moment, so we can just let what's going run, relax a bit, enjoy the weekend, and then come back. And if you've got anything on any ideas you got, don't forget to jot it down as a reminder, and we'll discuss it going into Monday. So we hope, hopefully, at least within next week, we've got it sort of fine-tuned a little bit. Okay, I've made a couple of mistakes already, but then that's the way you learn. Like anything new, you've got to tinker with it a little bit. Okay. Right, nearly 11 o'clock anyway, so you know what to do, etc. Monitor your stuff, come up with it, put a couple of suggestions out there, Don't forget, give me feedback. If you see anything, write it down. We'll discuss it. And yeah, we'll get this down to fine art with a bit of luck going forward. Cheers, guys. And have a great weekend.
It's better to go through trial and error than just winning all the time.
Well, yeah, well, I agree about trial and error, about winning all the time. I'm not sure anyone wins all the time. I'm sure even, what's his name, Tiger Woods missed a putt sometime in his life. Yeah. Thanks
Indeed,
very
sir,
much.
indeed.
Indeed, yeah. Cheers, guys. And yeah, catch us as soon as I can next week. Have fun.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers now.